you catch yourself saying yes to too many things? Do you find it difficult to prioritize your day in and day out? Then today's book review is going to be super useful for you. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Praveen Ramesh, and on this channel we speak about non-fiction books. I review, summarize, and I also speak about lessons and things that I am personally learning and implementing by reading these books. I find it immensely useful. I hope you do too. So as I said at the introduction of my video, we are going to be seeing about this amazing book that I read recently called Hell Yeah or No by Sivers. And since I read this book, I went and followed him. I started following his blogs. I've kind of downloaded a couple of his other books on my Kindle, waiting for them to be read and all those kind of things, because that's the kind of impact this book had on me. So Derek starts off this book by saying we end up saying yes to a lot of things than we should be. For example, let's take my example, right? So let's say a friend asks me, hey, do you want to hang out this Saturday evening? I obviously end up saying yes. Someone asks me, hey, I'm doing this drive for kids. Do you want to volunteer for that? I end up saying yes. Let's say someone says, hey, let's go for this short trip with a couple of friends. I end up saying a yes. So then let's say someone in my family asks, hey, do you want to help me set up my shelf and my workspace? I end up saying yes again. And let's say I personally have a lot of creative projects to do. And what do? You know it by that. I end up saying yes again. So with so many yeses that I keep saying day in and day out, week after week, month after month, more often than not, I end up being overwhelmed with a lot of things, and eventually I get frustrated about, when am I going to get a break? When am I just going to relax a bit and not do as much things as I'm doing now? And this leads to a lot of burnout. So that's why Derek Sivers recommends this framework called Hell Yeah or No. So he goes on to say that you should only take up things where you feel a hell yeah, or you should be saying no to pretty much everything else. So I've started following this as a time management technique where unless I feel supremely excited about something, be it volunteering, be it a creative project, be it a project at work, or be it any form of engagement, unless I feel supremely excited about it, I'm not going to take it up. That brings us to the question, how do you identify your hell yeah things in your life? So Derek recommends we go after these three questions. What are those? Let's get started with the first one. It's called, what do you hate not doing? When we get started with, hey, what do I like? We end up having 10, 20 or even 30 things at times. For example, I want to learn a new instrument. I hate it when I don't learn a new instrument. I want to do my YouTube journey. I want to start writing a blog. I want to repurpose my content. I want to ensure that I am at the top of my game at my work and all those sorts of things. So the moment when you think about, hey, what do I like? There is a lot of things that you end up liking, and again you end up being in a confusion of what should I be picking up next. Derek instead recommends we go after this framework called what do you hate not doing, and how do you identify that? Again, he gives you three questions. Let's say you were held captive for 100 days without access to the external world. All you have to do is you have to sit in this closed room for 100 days. And imagine you are being a captive. When you return to the real world, what would you have missed doing the most? So that is the thing that you hate not doing. So maybe that is one. The second approach to look at this is to see, let's say your, God forbid it never happens, let's say you stopped doing whatever you're doing for your day job and your creator journey. Let's say you stopped it abruptly today. What would you miss about your old job? What would you miss doing about your old job? So that is the second thing about what you hate not doing. Or the third one, right, with respect to social engagements, imagine magically all the people in the world would have disappeared one day. Who would you miss spending the most time with? So these three will help you identify what you hate not doing, or who should you be hanging out with from a social engagement perspective. So that is the first question to identify your hell yeah task. What is the second question? The second question is, what scares you the most? There is an upcoming review about this book called The War of Art, where the author Steven Pressfield outlines a similar framework where he speaks about, what scares you the most, or the thing that you feel the most resistance to is the thing that's most exciting, because scariness or resistance is a sign that you're excited about something and hell yeah. If you are going to be feeling resistance with something, that should be on your hell yeah list. So what scares you the most? Identify that and get started with it. What is the third question? What if you were satiated? I love this part about this book where the author Derek Sivers speaks about, as humans we are all social animals, right? So we seek approval, we seek appreciation, we seek money and all those kind of things, and we are kind of tuned to think about, hey, who is going to give me approvals, who is going to appreciate for the work that I do, what is going to end up giving me a lot more money. The moment you start thinking about these kind of things, you start optimizing for social approval and money and the status that social approval and money gives you. So imagine if you had all the money in the world, you had all the appreciation, all the fan following in the world, what would you still continue doing? That goes in your hell yeah list. It's a pretty simple framework, because for someone, especially in the creator journey, we all start chasing algorithms, we all start chasing what is the latest fad and latest trends. And the moment you start doing that, you're no longer doing something out of passion, but you're doing something because it gives you money, because it gives you that fame and social approval. So the moment you think that you're fulfilled with all of these things, what would you still continue doing? So that forms your hell yeah things. So with these three questions, which is basically what do you hate not doing, what scares you the most, and what if you had all the fame and money in the world, you would have come up with, let's say, 3 or 4 hell yeah things. I'm assuming by now. If not, now is the time. Pause this video and start thinking about your hell yeah projects or hell yeah things. Now that you have this, you might ask, hey Praveen, how do I get started with my first hell yeah task? I don't want to be overwhelmed. So, Derek goes on to say that when you're young, say yes to as many things as possible, but as you get old, start saying yes to as fewer things as possible. He elaborates this with the story of a donkey, right? So let's say there is a donkey in the middle, there is hay on one side for the donkey to eat and there is a water on the other. The donkey is undecided on which one to pursue first and eventually dies of hunger and thirst. So he goes on to say, don't be a donkey, rather pick one of these hell yeah projects or big things that you have in your life, pursue it for a decade. So if you're someone who is in their 30 and you have like 5 hell yeah tasks, you could accomplish each of these in 1 decade and still be done with all of them by the time you're 80, because you're going to live till 70 or 80. Hopefully all of us have a long enough life and have a very happy life. Why don't we plan for it, right? So that's what Derek says. So give all your hell yeah things a long enough time, probably a decade, and get started with whichever excites you the most at this point in time. As he says, don't be a donkey deciding for a very, very long time about what you want to be doing and eventually ending up not doing anything at all. This was my summary / review of Derek Sivers' hell yeah or no, which has helped me immensely, one, prioritize a lot of things and manage my time and energy better. I enjoyed reading this book. I hope you do too. Until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.